Recently, I've had several people reach out and say, hey, Marsha, I'm just a little unclear. Why would I hire a coach? And what can I expect if I do? Whether it's a complimentary resource or event, or a paid resource or event, or whether I'm ready to sign up for 3 to 6 months of professional coaching for myself or my family. And I think it's a really good question. We have a few other videos on our YouTube channel that will help you, and I hope you'll look at those as well, that talk really about what are some cornerstones of my practice. But I wanted to answer that question, those two questions, in a little bit different way today. So I'm hoping this will be helpful to you. So I think it starts off with why I became a coach. I've been working with families in the education world and in the business world for 30 years now. And I've learned a lot about what to anticipate, and my intuition and my discernment in working with families has gotten much more finely honed. So you can expect me definitely to bring that to the conversation. Why do you care? Because if somebody's new, they don't know the potholes that you may very well be walking into, or your family may be walking into. I have a lot of history in avoiding those potholes, so that's something that I'll be bringing with me. But I've been doing this work for a long time. Several years ago, I got my certification through Maxwell Leadership. John C. Maxwell, if you're not familiar, you can find him all over the internet and what he's about. I had never really thought about wanting to be an entrepreneur, but I was praying, and I believe God told me that this is what I needed to do. And so for several years now, every free penny, every free minute goes into building this company. There are some very common resources that I use on a regular basis, very strong, very research-based. You see those here popping up on the screen beside me. And I will use all of these on a regular basis. But one of the things that makes my coaching very specific is that I don't have a methodology. I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. I have milestones that we do. But what happens between each of those milestones is specifically dependent on you and what you need, or your family and what you need. And I'm very flexible in my ability I'm very nimble in my ability to be flexible and adjust what I'm doing to best meet your needs and your outcomes. You see several things here. I've heard people say things to me like, wow, Marsha, you must have a lot of good gossip on people. I don't have any gossip on anybody. Because number one, this is a confidential place. This is a safe place. It has to be safe or you won't be real. And I'm just sitting here spinning my wheels, wasting time. I don't have time for that, and you don't either. And so I don't have any good gossip on anybody. I don't have any gossip, good or bad, on anybody. Because what happens here is sacred, in my opinion. In my experience, it is sacred, and what you do with it is yours to do. But it is a non-judgmental space. Totally. I use discernment and my intuition. I do a lot of praying, as you saw a few minutes ago, about what you need and how I should approach you and how I can best serve you. But I don't gossip about any of it. I don't know anything about anybody if I'm asked, because that's not my story to tell. It's your story if you choose to tell it. I also had somebody tell me a few months back, wow, you're planning on fixing everybody? I don't fix anybody. That's not what I do here. What I do here is to listen and help you. And that leads really into the next one. Wow, Marsha, do you really need friends that badly that you have to have a company that people have to hire you? We will become very close depending upon what we walk through together. But I am not like your friends. I don't give you advice. I don't tell you what you should do. I had another client who told me a few months back, you're not telling me what to do. What do you want me to do? It's my job to help you find within you what you need to do. But if you're very familiar with the subconscious mind, and I am, and we have a couple of videos on that, you know that a lot of times you don't know what you really need to do until you find it. And it's within you. I believe it's within you. You don't need me to give you advice. You've got plenty of people around you to give you advice. I don't do that. And I don't tell people what to do. I help them find answers for themselves. And then we walk a path of a journey for a short period of time, and then we stop and evaluate. How's this working? Is this what we need to pursue? Do we need to rethink this? How do we need to move forward? What you will experience and what you can expect, whether it's a complimentary product or event or a paid product or event or professional coaching, is what I call the Evergreen Eight. These are things you will always find with me, whether you want to or not. These are the things you can absolutely expect with me. I'm going to ask you powerful questions. I'm going to ask you questions that people who love you aren't going to ask you. because that relationship already has other things going on within it. I don't have that baggage in my relationship with you. I'm going to ask you powerful questions. Some of them you may know the answer to immediately. Some of them you may give me a quick answer, and we may come back to it in a couple of weeks because you gave me a quick answer. It wasn't the real answer inside of you, not the real one. It was the quick one. I'm going to partner with you to create a plan. I mentioned that a few minutes ago. We're going to use everything that we can find, and we're going to create a plan. I'm going to help you to use all of your resources. Every person I've ever worked with across my 30 years of supporting families and family members has only used a couple of their resources. You have a plethora of resources within you that you don't even know about. And we're going to access those, and we're going to use them. I'm not talking about some ooh stuff. I'm talking about real stuff that once you start working on those, you'll be like, oh, why didn't I ever think about this? Exactly. That's why I'm here. I'll be sharing with you what we know. I do an abundant amount of research. I am always a researcher. What's out there new? What do we know? What's credible? What's crap? I'm not going to bring you crap. What do we know about this? How can we better use it to help you? What are other people finding as we research and learn more about our minds and our psychology and how we work? I'll be praying for you and those that you love. And you may say, well, Marsha, I don't really believe in it. That's fine. You don't have to believe in it. I believe in it. And so you will get regular prayer from me, both on how I interact with you, but also so that you can find success as quickly as possible, and so that your family can find healing and success as quickly as is possible, because that's really what I want for you. I'll be holding your hand while you become accountable to yourself. One of the things that we do, we don't even realize we do it, is we've lost a lot of times our own integrity with ourselves, because we've told ourselves, okay, I'm going to do it this time, I'm going to do it, and then we don't. We lose a little bit more integrity. Okay, this time, and then we don't. And so one of my jobs is to help you become accountable to yourself and rebuild your accountability and your integrity with yourself. And I'll be holding your hand while you achieve that, and you will achieve that. And then I'm going to be continually improving my work with you. Whatever we start off with may not be what we end up doing in terms of our processes and our interaction and our communication. Because the more I work with you, the more I'll get to know you. We'll certainly start off with an introductory complimentary session where you tell me what you want to accomplish. And then we'll set up another session where I'll be very clear about, here's the process that we'll go through. Here's how this will work. Here's what you can expect in more detail than this video will provide you, because it'll also be tailored to you and your particular need. There'll be some more data gathering that I'll want to ask you some more questions, but it will really be about, this is what you can know is not going to happen. And this is what you can know will happen. And I want you to be very clear before you start moving forward in professional coaching. The other thing that I'm really going to be doing with these Evergreen 8 is finding ways and times to laugh. Because life is pretty doggone funny. Once you get through the pain of it, and once you start looking at it a little bit more reflectively and remove yourself from the emotion of it, life is pretty darn hilarious. And we are going to spend some time laughing and cutting up. But even in the saddest of events, there are moments for laughter and hilarity. There just are. And we'll find those together, and we'll share them and experience them together. When you're ready for professional coaching, you'll complete a coaching application. I do not accept everyone's application. I simply don't. If I don't believe that I can really help you move forward, then I'm glad to help you find somebody else, but we'll have a little conversation, and I'll express my rationale of why I don't think I'm the right person, and I'm glad to help you find somebody who will be the right person. But this is a labor of love for me. It is a calling for me, and I have to be very integrous to that calling and what I've been asked to do. And so I hope this helps you have a little bit more knowledge and information about what coaching is going to be like, whether it's in one of our group events, whether it's paid or unpaid, or one of our resources that you're downloading. You're going to find opportunities in that to stop and reflect, because I find that when people leave that moment, leave that time with me, whether it's face-to-face or virtual, I find that people don't have the time to stop and reflect. And so you'll find those reflection opportunities built into our time together, where I'm going to ask you to stop and think, how does this feel within you? How does this resonate in your spirit? What do you think about this? What are your emotions around this? I want you to reflect while we're together. And then you may have a different answer when you come back and we visit the next time. But I'll make sure that you have time to stop and reflect during our time together. I hope this answers the question of why you should sign up for coaching or a coaching product with Memaw Wisdom Coaching, and what you can expect when you do. I'm looking forward to working with you.